Okay, this is part 2 of Light My Fire by Robby Krieger and the Doors tutorial for the solo. I want to apologize for part 1. The sound cut out at about the 21-minute mark of the 24-minute video. So there's no sound for the last 3 minutes of that tutorial. I was nearly finished. I was working on a lick and I think I pretty much finished it, but I'm going to go through it one more time. And in case I wasn't clear, in case I wasn't quite finished at the end, I don't know what happened. I think my mic became unplugged or something, but something happened. I lost my sound right in the master video. So I'm going to go through that again, and hopefully we don't have that same problem again. So we're going to start. We were finishing up right here. That's where we were. So I'm going to run through that one more time, and then we'll get into the weird part. So we're at the 19th fret, 17th fret, sorry, with maybe your index finger. So we're going to go 17, 19, hammer on twice on the high E, and then 17 of the high E, up to 19 of the B, back to 17 of the B, hammer on back to 19 of the B, and then back down to 17 of the E. But much faster than that. And then hammer on 17, 19 on the high E twice. And then hammer on 17, 19 of the B, and then back down to 17 of the high E. So from the beginning of that lick. And then we're going to go up to the G string. We're going to go 17, 19, hammer on. Then we're going to go 17, 19, hammer on the B. And then we're going to go 17, 19, hammer on the high E. And then we're going to pull off to 17 of the high E. And then up to 19 of the B. Back to 17, hammer on back to 19 of the B. And then finish up on the 17th of the high E. So from the top. And then the next lick is this. You're going to basically do the same thing you did the last time. 17, 19 on the G, 17, 19 on the B, 17, 19 on the high E. And then pull off to 17. And then grab the 19th of the B. And then grab the 21st fret of the high E and pull off to 17 of the high E. And then a triple hit on 19 of the B. And then finish the whole lick up with 17 on the high E up to 19 on the B. So that last little lick. And then the whole lick from the beginning. Now, in that lick, you will hear extraneous notes, and I believe what I showed you is what he's playing, but I think he either has delay on at that point in the solo, or he has doubled up the guitar, and there are extraneous notes in there that you can hear kind of flirting around with what he's doing. I think that's what he's playing, but the extra notes that you hear, you can like fiddle around with it, but I think it's either delay or it's a doubling up of the guitar. So now we're getting into the weird part of the solo, the part that is really off time and somewhat atonal. It's a lot of trouble to get the timing on this one. I'm going to show you the notes, and if I can get through it properly at a slower speed, because the timing is completely screwed on this part. Listen along to the original song. Once I show you the notes for this part, listen along to the original song to try and find the melody, and it's really hard to get, but you'll get it in time. So after we finish this, we're going to go down to the 5th fret of the high E, And then we're going to grab the 7th fret of the B and the G and give them a half a step bend up and back down. And then back down to the 5th fret of the high E. And then we're going to start the weirdness. It's back to the original lick that he started the entire solo with, but in a very off-time manner. And so let's go through that. We are coming out of this. That's basically the same lick that you started the solo with. 8 on the B, and then 5, 7, 8 on the high E. And then 7, 8, pull off to 5. And then 8 on the B, back to 5 on the high E. So. And then 8 of the B. And then 5, 7, 8, 7, 5, legato. So let me run that from the top again. And that's 7, 8, 7, 5 of the B, and then up to 7 on the G. Nope, not that part. Okay, so back to this. Okay, we're up to there, so this is hard to do slowly. And then 8 on the B, back to 5, and then back to 7 on the high E. And this one, you do it quickly. And that's just hammering on from 7 to 8, back to 7, back to 5, up to 8 on the B. And then back to 5 of the high E. And that's 7, 8, 7, 5 on the B, back up to 7 on the G. And then do that again. And that's 5 on the high E, 7, 8, 7, 5 of the B, up to 7 on the G. So from the top of that lick. And then we're going to go back to 5 on the high E, and then 8 on the B, back to 5 on the high E, with a little pause, and then you're going to grab 7 on the high E, and then 8 of the high E, and then 7, 8, 7, 5 of the high E, and then up to 7 on the B, and then 5 of the high E, and then pull off 8 to 7 to 5 of the B, up to 7 on the G. And then do that again. And then again, but this time hammer on 7 to 8, back to 7, back to 5. So, that whole crazy lick. So we're coming out of this. Learn that and put it alongside the original recording to find the timing and the melody, because it's really tricky. And then we're into this. Where are we? And then once you hit that last note, then we're on 5/7 of the B, and then 5/7 of the high E, and then back to 5 of the high E, and then up to 8 of the B, back to 5 of the high E, and then 7 of the B, back to 5 of the high E. So we are coming into this. Sorry, mistake. And then back up to 7 of the G. There it is. Sorry, I get a little confused going slowly. So there it is. So where were we? There we are. 7 of the G, back to 5 of the B, down to 7 of the high E, back to 5 of the high E, and then 8 of the B, back to 5 of the high E, and then 7, 8, 7, 5 of the hammer-on pull-off of the B, finishing up on the 7th of the G. So I'm going to run through that lick again from here. And now we're into some bends. 4 times, basically. 7th fret of the G, 5th fret of the B. They're pretty much full step bends. And so the first time you just do 4 bends. Second and third time you go 4 bends. And then back to 5 of the G, up to 7 of the D. So the first time just 4 bends. And then you're going to move up to the 12th fret of the G, to the 10th fret of the B, down to the 9th fret of the G. You're going to do that twice. And then back down to the 7th fret and the 5th fret, 7th fret of the G, 5th fret of the B. And you're going to do that again. So that whole bendy bit. And then we're into this. And that's the end of the solo. So from the bends, so that's 5/7 of the G, and then 5/7 of the B. Back to 5 of the B. Is that right? No, that's not right. So the bends, 5/7, 5/7, back to 5, and then a double hit on the 7th fret of the G. And then you're going to do this 3 times, 7/5, 7/5, 7/5 of the G string. So from the bends, and then 7 of the G, back to 5 of the B. Sorry, I lost the melody again. Yeah, so 7 of the G, to 5, to 7, to 8 of the B, back to 7 of the B, down to 5 of the high E, and then up to 8, 7, 5 of the high E string, and then 8, 7, 5 of the B, and then finishing the solo on the 7th fret of the G string. So from the bend, and that ends the solo. And, well, that didn't take long. It was only 16 minutes. So I hope that helped you out. There's not a whole lot of tutorials for this one on YouTube. There actually are none. So this is a great classic solo by Robby Krieger, and probably his most famous. And it's number 44 or 45 on Guitar World Magazine's Top 100 Solos of All Time. So it's a good one to learn. If you wanna learn some Dorian, this solo is just full of it. So anyway, great solo. I really enjoyed learning it myself, and I hope this helped you out. So thanks for watching. Hope it helped, and take care of yourself. Ciao.